Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Steven. I would like to welcome everyone to PlayStationGL Social Race number 2 here on F1 2019, and we're here for a beautiful Austrian race here today as we're involved with Livid Racing Praga, who is coming for the final corner, loses the back end and nearly goes into the wall. Just manages to save the car just very slightly, and in the meantime, let's run quickly through the grid as what we have so far in this qualifying session. Livid Racing Betty sets new fastest time of a 1:4.9 with Livid Racing Praga in second alongside Livid Racing Science currently in P3 with a 1:5 flat, not too far behind Praga, with Tommy J currently in 4th place, who is in the pit stop and just 30 hundredths of a second behind man in P3. That I don't know. I will just call him Z. Is currently in P5 with about 1 minute 5.2, with Josh really close behind as well. Livid Racing Nick in P7 with Lord JMK and Jamie currently in P8 and P9, with Cable rounding up the top 10. F1 Soviet in P11, Hulkenberger, the F1 director of PSGL, currently in P12, with Ponish Town in P13, with LK always just LK in P14. Mr. Grumpy, who is now out on track currently on the soft combine of tire, while his lap was set on the mediums. In P15 with L Livid Racing Speedwood, which is JP Greenwood as we all know him. In P16 with Demon. Why did I just go into his profile all of a sudden? What the hell? Okay, apparently if you press on the person, you can actually go into their profile nowadays. Gaming Galimonda, or Musical Venom as we all know him, very popular name in PSGL and F1 PS4 community overall, with Flying Throne, currently in P19, trying to take his lap on the medium common of tire in a beautiful light blue and yellow livery, with Johofen in P20 running down the grid. Let's have actually a look on the gap from the leader, as we can I forgot to say, not used to those controls yet. Top 8 is currently within half a second of each other. It's basically 4/10 if we run it up to the nearest 10th. So really close between all the drivers there. All closely matched. I don't think that social races actually go on the PSGL channel. Maybe they should, but I never got like any logins or anything, so that's what I'm doing here. But yeah, we're coming on board with Flying Throne. He's across the final corner, opening the DRS. Across the line, he sets 12th fastest time on the board so far. Let's have a look at Lordy, who is going slower than his actual fast lap so far. We'll go then on board with Science, who's actually into the pits. That's a great timings. Cablo, he seems to be on a lap now, with a really interesting livery, I should rather say. Cablo through turn number 4, I believe this is. It's 3 or 4. People count very differently. For some reason, people count the hairpin as turn number 3, as it has a very slight turn towards the left just before the hairpin up the hill. So I don't know, I count this as I was counting the hairpin as turn 2 and that turn 3, but I don't know myself at this point. In all fairness, people get me confused. Cablo across the line, he does not improve. He goes slower by 2.5 tenths over his previous best lap. Flying from for sector 1, does he improve? Yes, he does. He very narrowly improve on his best sector 1. Praga, in the meantime, is looking to improve on sector 1. He's actually going slower, so I believe he will be going back into the pits. Tom, AJ, Zek, I'm just going to call him Zexer, screw it. Currently in P6, Josh in P7, Livid Racing Nick is going very slowly, so I believe this qualifying might be over for him. Cablo, well actually let's go back on board with From. He's improving by over a tenth over his lap. Let's see how much he can improve for sector 3. Across the final corner, From goes, and across the line he improves by 2.5 tenths, goes past Sophie and Hülkenberger. There we go. Well, just Sophie, I meant. My brain is not here just yet, bear with me please. In the meantime, Tom AJ, currently in P5, is on his lap. Top 5 is separated by below 2 tenths from 1st to 5th, so that's really good to see that all people are close together, and especially the new strategies will come into play. Obviously, with the new Formula 1 game, everyone is still getting optimized with the new handling, the new cars, etc. I believe. So we might see some surprises as Tom AJ is improving by 1/10.25 from his previous best time. Let's see what he can show in sector 3. For the penultimate corner going into the final, as I saw a kind of forcing the 2013 style livery. And Tom, I believe he might get in Valde. I think he did, and that will be the qualifying over for him, as I believe he did in Valde his lap. Let's go with Betty, who is losing time, so there's no point of watching him. Lordy is losing time. Why is everyone losing time? Okay, here we go. Zexer, he is on the lap. There's 2 other cars behind him. Josh in the meantime, across the line, does not improve. Giving a Le Mans that in a really beautiful livery. Actually, fair play for that livery. That is actually stunning. Oh, but he might get in the way. Yes, he does. He gets in the way of somebody's qualifying lap. I believe it was... No, it was not Hülkenberger. Hülkenberger is about to start a flying lap. I know who it actually was. Who was it? I actually don't know who it actually was. In the meantime, Sainz is starting his flying lap now. Zexer goes into the pits as a qualifying over for him as well. Josh in the meantime is improving just very narrowly. So we might see him improving, maybe picking up P6 possibly. Let's have a look. For the penultimate corner going into the last. Across the line, Josh goes. And no, he does not improve on his overall lap. And new fastest lap by Betty at 4.8. There we go. Betty showing off the pace, but Sainz does think otherwise. He thinks that there are other plans in his book. He is improving over his lap. And let's see what can he do for the final sector. He goes across the final corner. And does he improve? Yes, he does! Narrowly misses on pole position. And it's a 1-2-3 for Livid Racing. Oh, wow, what a qualifying session. Betty going to be starting on pole position from Sainz, 3600ths of a second separating the two drivers. Praga in P3, Lordy rounding up the second row, Tom and Zexer on the third row of the grid, with Josh and Nick on 7th and 8th slots on the grid. Mr. Grumpy managed to put himself into P9 with Jamie rounding up the top 10. And wow, what a qualifying session we have just witnessed. That was amazing. That must have been one of the closest qualifying sessions I've seen in my life for top 4, that is, basically. Top 5 close in general. And Gaming Le Monde, Cablo, LK, From, Sophie, Hilkenberger, Pownage, Speedwood, Johafen, and Demon all have a free tire choice at the start of today's Grand Prix. And that is the grid here for the qualifying session. Wow. Amazing stuff. Hello, Josh. Wow, wow, wow. This is one hell of a qualifying session we have just witnessed. Let's see what the race can bring us. I believe the race will be even better than the race was itself, really. I believe this can go even better. We may have a humongous battle for the lead of the race, you know. We might have a huge battle between the limited racing guys. So that'll be fun to see if it does happen or not. So yeah. As the drivers are getting ready, I believe. I don't know. For God's sake. Well, I can do that. And yes, here we go. The drivers are on the grid for formation lap. As I can tell you one thing, this race is going to make it hell of a lot of fun for us today. We can see the tire allocations on our screens. The top 10 obviously all starting on soft compound of tires, as they have qualified on with Gaming Le Monde, Cablo, LK, From, Sophie, Hilkenberger, Pownage, and Johafen all selecting the medium tire compound, with Speedwood choosing softest compound of tire available for this race, and Demon is going to be starting on the hardest compound of tire, the white wall hard tires. Obviously, with the new Formula 1 allocations for the tires being soft, medium, and hard, and there's no ultra soft, super soft, hyper soft, and stuff like that. Obviously, we might be on for a really entertaining race today with various strategies available for the drivers today. As the drivers are getting close to be formed on the grid. Let's see, here we go. The drivers have formed themselves up on the grid. We have 36 laps of racing ahead of us here at Austrian Spielberg for Red Bull Ring. Here we go, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 5 lights on the gantry. Lights out, and away we go racing. It looks like that Sainz has a better start than Betty into turn 1. He goes on the inside, cutting the chicane, pushes Betty out wide, just a narrow bit. Praga remains in P3. Battles keep going for the lead of the race. It's Sainz, no, Betty, sorry, leading from Praga. Sainz in P3. Lordy moving up, trying to gain into that position, and yes, he does get it. Zexer is battling against Living Racing. Sainz for P5. Zexer nearly 3 wide going into turn number 3. Tom on the inside. Can he keep the position? A little bit of contact has been made, but it looks like that Zexer comes out on top. Still 2 wide for Tom and Josh. Josh gives up the position. Sainz is down into P7. He loses a lot of positions from the starting phase of the race. Jamie is currently in P8. Nick in P9. Great start from him. Mr. Grumpy is up into P10. As we can see, Gaming Le Monde is now in P11. with top 10 shifting hugely, if I'll be honest with you guys. In the meantime, Nick and Jamie are battling into turn number 1. Jamie is behind Nick now. And up ahead of Grumpy, the two drivers are. Grumpy is going to have a look maybe into the hairpin. He is on the outside line. Does he go for it? No, he prefers to stay behind, take the curbing, and just try to maybe get on the exit. But it looks like the two ahead of Josh and Tom are scrapping it out. Lordy and Betty are side by side going to turn number 4. And it looks like that Betty will remain in the position, as maybe a little bit of contact has been made, as near the 3 cars going wide. This is great racing we have today. Alimonda gets past, but it looks like that he made a mistake. Alimonda is round. He is in the gravel. Not sure if he has any front wing damage, but that certainly is not a good sign for him, as Nick is now trying to get past Jamie once again. Really close battle between the two drivers, as Zexer got a 5-second stop-go penalty. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that is Betty. Levin Racing, Betty is round. He has no front wing carbon fiber in a wall on the grass at the side of the track, and that is really unfortunate for his race, as LK, not sure what happened there, multiple warnings, and that's a penalty for him. A Sainz is now behind Josh. Josh had a blistering start, picking up 4 positions from the starting phase of the race. That's some really good ground has been made by him, as Sophie is trying to gain on LK, as the two drivers are getting within 3/10 of each other. The DRS is obviously open on this lap, so we might have to watch out for other people on track. LK goes wide, gaining an advantage. Pragas has the fast lap of the race. Sophie within the DRS range, but LK also has DRS. Let's see what Sophie can do. She will stay behind. LK will have the DRS open as well for the car ahead, which is Punish Town. As the two drivers, well, the whole train is basically slipstreaming each other, as I might say a move from flying from on Juho very soon, as From is really close. Betty gets a 5-second penalty for also speeding in the pit lane, so the pit lane is really causing issues for some of those drivers. As Speedwood had an issue on the run out from the hairpin. From is on the inside, Sophie moves in the braking, and contact has been made actually. Speedwood remains in P13, but I believe From did not expect Sophie to move in the braking zone, and I believe so he will give up the position back. Yes, he does. And now it's back to where it began for the drivers here, as Cablo is round the tail of Grumpy, who is right behind Tom AJ as well. So we'll have a quick look here, as Grumpy might be within an opportunity for an overtake here. Grumpy remains behind. Let's quickly go back to From, who's actually not gaining the ground. Battle for P3 is looking to be building up. A huge train here for what that is, really. I don't even know. For P7, a huge amount of cars, as Juho is trying to fight against From on the inside into the hairpin. From got past round the outside with DRS obviously available for him, and he remains in position. Juho that cannot get the overtake done and dusted just yet, as Sophie has now got past Speedwood, sorry, I keep calling him Greenwood. I have to stop. As Nick is... Oh, Josh and Lordy battling side by side for the penultimate corner. How have they not crashed here? That's spectacular to see the two cars going side by side here, as issues for Grumpy, and Cablo retires from the race. What happened to... Oh, how on earth has that happened? A 3-car crash, Cablo retires, Grumpy has spun out. Speeding under virtual safety car for Speedwood. Virtual safety car has been deployed on track. Speedwood speeding under it. I don't even know what happened. Tom AJ, Jamie, Cablo and Grumpy have all been round at the same part of the track, I think. Virtual safety car is in as we continue racing as Punish Town is now losing the position to LK down into towards turn 3, as I believe there is carbon fiber damage for Punish Town at the front of his car. And Speedway, what happened to him? He must have spun round at the exit of turn 3, so now he is going to lose some ground to what is Juho and Grumpy, so that's just shaping up. I'm not sure if Grumpy might have any damage. I don't think he hit the wall. But what a spectacular scene as there's yellows in sector 3, LK is into the pits. And people are pitting. The soft tire, the soft runners are now pitting. As let's go on board with this battle. What is for P3? No, P2, sorry. As Josh is going for the inside maneuver on Lordy. I think it was really close to the rear tire of Lordy as two living racing drivers of Sainz and Nick really close to each other. And Juho and Demon making up 11 positions each. What is 22 just splitting between them two, with Sophie gaining 9, Flying From gaining 7 positions. People have gained mental positions. Betty is the unluckiest driver here at the starting phase of the race as Nick is going into the pits. Let's see, will he speed in? And yes, he does. That's a definite speeding into the penalty, and he gets a 5-second penalty for that. As here we go, the battle for P2 continues as Josh is now under pressure from Sainz. Sainz obviously having the slipstream as well into the hairpin. He will be on the inside line and he will try and make it down into turn 3. Did lose some time due to a little back end tanker slip. And sector 3 waved yellow flags as Sainz remains behind Nick side by side with Juho Finn. Juho loses the back end. That lets Nick gain the advantage over his rival on track, and that should be done and dusted. Here we have a battle for P12, LK, Hulkenberger and Polish Town all side by side, 3 wide into the hairpin. When will we see that in Formula 1? Never, except PlayStationGL. Mental racing from them 3 as LK wins it all. Hulkenberger gets Polish Town on the one-lane maneuver. Ooh. I think he might have missed his braking. I think what happened is that Ponage just really misjudged his speed. Hulkenberger's round. Oh no, no, there's a collision! A 4-car collision! And what on earth just happened? I can't believe my eyes! Wow. A huge collision and Speedway got disqualified. No comment on that, but what a crash that was. Hulkenberger losing it on the exit, on the traction, losing the back end, and Ponage, I think he might have wanted to go into the pits and he just collected the car ahead. And that caused a chain reaction of a collision as Nick is now past Flying Foam for Wada is P3, so place under the sunshine. Ponage letting everyone through. But that was a nasty collision, shall I say. In the meantime, we have Nick behind Sophie and Praga, really close to flying through, and he is going for it. He is going for an overtake. Rejoins back onto the racing line and gets the move done on flying through. But I think Froome will have the DRS to fight against. But here we go for the lead of the race. Nick against Sophie for the lead of the race. Nick takes the lead on lap 11. On medium set of tires, one overtake from Nick Dias to take the lead of Austrian Grand Prix. As Sainz is fighting against Josh, Praga is close to Sophie. And let's have a look, a really good exit for Praga, round the inside. And gets the move done. One overtake from Praga. Well maneuvered his car to get past Sophie for P2. Great overtake that was. As a beautiful helicopter camera, pardon me, as helicopter camera is with us, as flying Froome is from the pressure from Josh. Let's have a look. From defends the inside line, Josh is on the outside and Froome will remain the position as he's on the inside of Sophie. Contact, slight bit of contact has been made as Josh seems to have a better exit, and Froome side by side the two drivers go into turn number 3. Josh is on the outside. Sainz is trying to get right into it. Froome loses out on P4. Josh is now on attack on Sophie. No way around the outside of turn 4. Please, turn 5, sorry. No way you're gonna do that. What a move! Smooth! That is smooth! Fair play, Josh. That is amazing. What on earth has happened there? Take a bow. Just get out. That's sorry. That's illegal. Whoa. I'm shooked. I'm properly shooked. As Froome is now attacking Sophie and trying to defend against Sainz at the same time as Sainz is going to try and get on the traction on the outside. And what's on there going on? What are those moves? Obviously Sainz is on fresher tires, but so is Josh. But how are they pulling off those moves? This is insane. This is phenomenal. I don't think I've seen anything better. What the hell? And now Sainz is attacking Sophie. And gets the move done very easily. There's not going to be much fighting from Sophie on older tires. And yeah, Sainz is now in P4 as Praga is now gaining on the leader of the race. Oh, why can we not get replay cameras like we have on Gran Turismo to see some of those moves once again? As now Tom AJ is behind Jamie, but we're here looking at the battle for the lead of the race. Liver Racing Prague against Liver Racing Nick. And it looks like that From is actually into the pits, but here we go. Nick remains in the lead. Praga is behind by using the DRS once again. Gavin Alamonda retires, and Praga takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. But that might not be over just yet, as Nick will have the DRS. And no, he will remain behind. Azul, there's a mistake from Jamie, who lets Tom AJ through, as Lordi now is on the charge to catch up to Sophie. So let's have a look, how will that end? As there's yellow flag, sector 1 and 2. Jamie has retired. Where has... oh well. Let's go back to Nick as the battle for the lead continues on. And now Nick attacking Praga, but decides to remain behind. As Flying From is right behind Demon, I meant. Yeah. Getting names confused at this point. Come on. And now side by side, From will go into the on the inside. Easy move. Nothing too hard for From there. P9 on fresh tires. Sophie is now losing. No, she's actually battling with Lordi. Lordi on the inside on fresh tires. It's not going to be that much of a hassle for him to get past Sophie. And that's what he exactly does. Promoting himself into P5. Demon has left the session! No, Demon! No! Oh, no, 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 no! As the battle for the lead still remains going, as Nick still battling for the lead of the Grand Prix. Oh, yes, he joins back. Whew. Josh is now right behind Sainz. Let's have a look. What will happen here? Will Josh make another absolute chain drop in an overtake? If he does, I'm gonna leave my room. If he does, I'll just leave. Because the move he was on earlier on is already too much for us. to see today. I know he'll do something crazy again. As X-Ray is now in the pits, getting a 5-second penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. So the pit lane seems to be catching up a lot of people up, as Josh is now around the outside of the hairpin, trying to get past, and Sainz places his car perfectly, denying Josh. And how is this possible? Another one of those. Josh, stop. Straight out. Stop. Please. This is too much. This is too much of good overtakes. How do you do this, John? Oh, my brain. I don't get it. How is he doing it? In the meantime, up the inside, Sainz will go to retake P3. We'll just try and get on the switchback and use the DRS to get past him once again. And here we go. Josh on the outside into P... Turn 4, I meant. No, turn 3. I'm getting confused myself at this point. But Josh... No, stop. Josh, stop. Contact has been made. I can spin Sainz out. Sainz is round. And this time... Oh, nearly rejoining really dangerously there, Sainz. But here we go. He's back running. Praga in the pits. Nick... No, yeah, Praga in the pits. Nick takes the lead of the race. And Sainz has spun it again. He's round again. What has happened here? Oh, that's so unfortunate for Sainz. He was doing so well in this race. But now Tom is behind Jorvin. And now let's have a look. Sainz retires. Probably in the pits. Not even in the pits. Just on track, but Tom AJ gets him moved on. But they're still going side by side. I think he might have gotten an illegal overtake on Juho because of yellow flags. So who is that? That is Grumpy rejoining right in that little group. And now Grumpy leading from Juho, from Tom AJ. And Juho on the inside of Grumpy. But Grumpy will keep around the outside as on the switchback. Tom goes. And I think he'll get it. Yes, he will. What a move. That is from Tom. But it's not over yet. Juho is trying to keep around the outside of turn 3. And no, here we go. Tom secures the position. As people are in the pits, Sophie is now in the pits, taking those tires 21 laps. Yeah, crazy scenes that is. You think about it. As From is now going to go past Sophie. As From is going to go to the end of the race. I wonder if Sophie is on the softs. Yes, she is. But 14 laps for the softs. Will they last? As we can't forget that Demon is yet to pit, but he is currently in P8, and I think he will rejoin about P11. As LK is humongously behind. Ponish is going to overtake him. Obviously, the unlucky incident with Hulkenberger and a few other drivers. Grumpy in the meantime is in P9. He's been very quiet this race, in my opinion. Nick is catching up to medium yellow wall tires to go to the Grumpy is now behind Demon, as I really believe Demon might be pitting this lap. And now he continues up. Grumpy! Where did that come from? Where on earth has that overtake even come from? The overtakes we see today are amazing. This is beautiful. Absolutely amazing. As Joho is now in the pits as well, so theoretically Demon might be even coming now in P10. As from wing repairment for Juho, so broken from wing for him, setting him back with a pit stop and from wing change, as Nick is now within a second of the car ahead, who is Praga. Them two were really feisty before the pit stop phase, and the scrap will continue on. And Tom AJ is right behind Demon as well. Let's quickly go on. Ah, missed it. And Tom AJ around the inside, but I think there might have been contact from Tom. I'm not entirely sure. And here we go, the battle for P2 is going to continue on as down onto the main straight they go. Lordy is not even that far ahead, so we might even have a potential battle for the lead of the race as we go on to lap 25 from Ferry 6, as Nick uses double DRS, might be even becoming triple if he does not get the move done here and now. As, yep, there we go, the battle for lead is now on. The three drivers are within a second off of each other. Opponent gets a 3-second time penalty. As here we go. Oh, it looked like that Nick might have been on for a move on Praga, but I think Praga might have lost the back end just very so slightly at the exit of the final corner, and now he will try again. But Praga also has DRS, and that will be for the lead of the race on the inside. Praga is on Lordy as Nick is trying to squeeze into all of this. What is going on? The racing, I was not even wrong saying at the start we might have a huge battle for the lead of the race. This is what we're getting. This is exactly what we're having just now, as Praga takes the lead from Lordy, as Nick is going to try round the outside, and Lordy backs out, and Praga into P1, Nick into P2, with Lordy losing 2 positions within a space of 3 corners. And that is just building up all the pressure on Praga, as now he has his theoretical teammate behind him, and he can't make a mistake because then he will get counter-attacked very quickly by somebody else. And Zexer is behind From as well, so I want to switch on to that battle as soon as we finish with this one, unless they get very close together. But it looks like that From is pulling away very slightly. As here we go, Nick is on the inside into the hairpin. He will try to break his opponent on track, and that's what he does as on the lapped car of Joho gets out of the way as the racing continues on. And Zexer is now past From. Looks like that From might have made a slight mistake. And now Nick is pulling away. It's now, the gap is just more than a second over the car behind. So no, I think Nick may have found his pace, and he is now going to be pulling away from the car behind. As the drivers are now pretty far ahead from each other, I would say, except from who is the closest car to somebody else. Zexer gets another penalty. Let's have a look. In terms of penalties, what do we have? No, I'm not doing. I'm not even going to question. 5 seconds time penalty for Nick. Penalty and a warning, but I think him to stop. I don't know if it's. I'm not sure if it's a time penalty or a stop go penalty though. It said time penalty, so I would imagine it's time penalty. Lordi has a penalty. I think Praga has 2. No, Praga has only 1. Nick has a 5-second penalty plus a penalty, so that's 8 seconds. So he needs to watch out for that. Josh, in the meantime, has 2 penalties. Zexer, 5 seconds, 8, 12, 16. I know I miscounted it slightly. 19, 22 seconds of penalties. I know I miscounted very slightly. From has 6, so Zexer is definitely going to lose the position to From just because of penalties, and there we go, another penalty has just applied to Zexer. Tom Aegis is the fast lap of the race. Ponage has retired from the session, and let's have a look. We have this man here on the screens who is currently in P10 and he started in P20. The man himself, Demon. Yes, Demon has gained 10 positions. Tom AJ, he doesn't have a bloody warning, wow. Yeah. Not gonna happen. Sector 1 Wave Jellos. Oh, I misclicked again. Josh, I think, is gaining ground on Lordi, I think. I might be wrong, but I think he has. But Josh is Extreme Alone DRS. DRS? ERS. And when I say Extreme Low, I mean Extreme Low. But as it stands so far, Nick will lose the race on penalties to Praga. And he might even fall off the podium. No, actually, I don't think he will fall off the podium. He might fall down to P3, but I don't think he will fall behind Josh. And there we go, Josh is within the second. But the Barry is not doing him a favour whatsoever. He can't maximize the power of the battery that he has. He only has 10%, but he does go for it. He is going to drain it completely to try and get as close to Lordi as he possibly can. He does that. That's one job. But it's not over yet. The battle is not over yet. And let's have a look around the outside. Josh will try. Lordi defends perfectly as Josh hits him in the rear. And stop. I'm done. What? This is 3 times out of 4 he managed to do it? I don't understand how he does it, but apparently it's working. Apparently it works. So, I think if I'm racing, I might try that. If Josh can do it, then surely other people can as well. But he's done it several times. But yes, Lordi does lose the podium now, as Praga is now, ooh, 5 seconds. as Lordy retakes a position from him by literally run up. But he did overshoot it. He did overshoot it as Josh takes it back. And there's carbon fiber. Lordy hit the back of Josh. Carbon fiber is off. And Lordy will now definitely lose a lot of ground to the car ahead. And to the car behind as well. And yep, he has fallen out of 1 second range as Zexer has closed in quite a bit, I would say here. I think he gained a whole second just for 2 sectors, I think. Might be wrong with my calculations, but you know. As lap 34 has started, and we only have 2.5 laps until the very end of the race. As there's not much to talk about now, as the cars have all split apart really. So yeah, just a nice Sunday night chill, you know. Well, in all fairness, Nick is about to start the penultimate lap of the race. Grumpy retired! No, Grumpy! Grumpy! Eh? No! No, Grumpy! No! Grumpy was so close to finish P8. And, that's so unfortunate. I feel... See, moments like this, they're horrible. Grumpy was so close to finishing in solid P8 after decent qualifying and some great battles on track as well, and then that happened. That's annoying. That must be really, really frustrating for Grumpy. Well, here we go. Nick is starting his flying lap of the race. Lawrence picks up a 3-second time penalty. That could... Never mind, I remember how many penalties Zexer has, and I'm like, no, it's not going to make a difference. Actually, it could. Oh, from good penalty. If he didn't get that one, he might have been able to overtake Lordy. I can't remember. No, don't think. I'm talking some crap, absolute random crap now, so just don't mind me, and it's all good. But here we go, Nick through the final few corners, going into the last sector of the race. the man who started in P8, who has nailed the strategy, could have only went and done it. Nick wins the social race in PSGL on track. Does he win it with penalties though? Yes, he does. Nick wins. Livid Praga in second. Josh in P3. Will Lordy overtake him on penalties? No, he will not. Flying From is going to come across the line in P5 as he overtook Zexer. Zexer lost his front wing, and Zexer is going to fall behind Sophie as well. Sophie has jumped from as well by a second. So there we go, Sophie picks up P5. Tom AJ is going to come across the line to finish in what that will be P8. So a good recovery drive from Tom. He overtakes Zexer by half a 10. Oh, that's how many penalties he had. That Tom, he was a mile behind, managed to overtake Zexer, who had like nearly half a minute worth of penalties. Funny how I get XP for that as well, to be honest. Just watching the race. But here we go, the race classifications as it stands. Nick wins from Praga second. Josh in rounding up the top 3 with Flordy in P4. Sophie finishing P5 after in P15. With From picking up also a huge amount of positions after starting in P14 on the grid, managing to finish in P6. Tom AJ is finishing in 7th. With Sophie and Tom actually being the only drivers to not get any penalties. Zexer in P8, Demon finishing in an amazing P9, Joffin and Rick managing to get back into P10. And yeah, that's it. That is it, really. I believe, yes, Tom did get the fast lap of the race, so he would get an extra point for that, but obviously there are no points in this race, so haha. God, I need to stop. But yeah, I guess that'll be it for today from me behind the microphone. And guys, if you have enjoyed the live stream, make sure to hit the like button, support the stream, follow PlayStationGL on Twitter, or you can sign up to join the PSGL leagues at PlayStationGL.com. And until next time, that'll be it from me. Until next time, have a good night, everyone. Bye bye.